Everybody. I hope everybody's doing amazing. Happy Saturday morning. And I am here with Shanadra this morning, and she is actually interviewing for one of our grants to help her build her business. Now, what type of business do you have, Shanadra?
It is just actually like in the beginning stages, very beginning stages. I mean, like literally just created an LLC on June the 1st, I think. I got all the papers and stuff filed. I am thinking about going the online clothing boutique route and just starting just kind of to move like a mile a minute. It just honestly feels like from the time that I've decided to do it, it just honestly feels like things are just lining up. I was thinking about like where do I go, where do I start, and literally like I found you. I found one of your lives. It was just kind of mind blowing that some of the things that I had been thinking for quite a while, it just when I actually took the action and started believing in myself to take a step, that things started to slowly but surely like line up. And I just feel like with every fiber in me, I'm ready to fight and get it done.
Good for you. And one of the things I can say about that, there's a book by Paulo Coelho called The Alchemist. And it's actually one of Oprah's favorite books. But in that book, he says that when you're in pursuit of your life's purpose, the entire universe conspires to help you. And I remember when I first started, because I had the willingness and the want, I'm not going to say it was easy, but I started seeing what was almost like a miraculous progression of, being featured in Essence Magazine, being featured in Ladies Home Journal, just getting these amazing speaking opportunities. And never in a million years did I think that I would be where I am now. Let me just be honest. Because, not only am I from a small town, country girl, we grew up very, very, very poor. When I say very, I mean very, very. But we didn't realize it at the time that, it was haves and haves nots. We
Right,
thought everybody was poor, and they're not.
right,
So working at Chase allowed me to see just how much money is in the world, being a vice president and seeing bank accounts with you gotta literally count the commas to figure out what their balance is was like, if anybody can have it, if any one person can have it, I can have it.
right.
But I got to do something different. So kudos to you for doing something different, guys. And if you're watching and you want to do something different, make sure you go to bit.ly/ free women app 2020. We're going to be doing live group interviews all weekend. And don't overthink it and don't miss your opportunity. One thing I was telling them in my presentation is that, you know, these coaching sessions are normally way, 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 way more without the grant. And I'm uh I'm biased, but I think it's one of the best coaching programs on the planet because the coach actually shows up. You got
Mhm.
a lot of coaching programs, there's a lot of videos to watch and a lot of who do I ask? And they put you in a group together. And it's like a whole bunch of kindergartners in a class without a teacher. Because if ain't none of y'all ever built no business,
Right.
who this the blind leading the blind? But what would you say if chosen? What would be your commitment to doing the work? Because one thing I tell people is that when you see something, you retain 20%. When you see it and you hear it, you retain about 50%. But when you see it, hear it, and do it, you retain a lot. And we have a very hands-on coaching program where we're going to be asking you to go do some stuff because I know the speed at which you move your feet is the speed at which you make your money, is the speed in which you can leave your job and work your business full time. So,
Mhm.
what would you do to make sure that you're committed to not just coming to class, but completing your assignments as well?
Oh, it's going to be the hunger that's in me. That's going to rise. The hunger in me is going to rise, and I'm going to.
I'm talking to my son. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go
yeah, it's
ahead.
going to be the hunger in me that's going to rise. I mean, over the course of the past, 7 years, I've been with my current employer for 7 years. In October to be 7 years, I work for an international investment bank where I'm an operations manager. So within 7 years' time, I've literally had like six roles. So literally, once I get in and have to restructure, rehire, they're moving me to something else, and I've always felt like, if I can sit here and reform teams and manage 15 people teams and write all these reviews and give all the ideas and be the conflict resolution person, like, why can't I put that energy into something that's for me and my family?
And you know what? That's the one thing that I really struggle with is getting people to understand that when you move at the speed that you move for everybody else for yourself, your money starts looking like they money because you cut out the middleman. You definitely do. And one thing I would say is it's not easy, but it's worth it. Um, and not only that, you got to be willing to invest in your business. And once I started working on my business, I started looking at my job as my angel investor. And I started looking for ways to make extra money to invest in my business. And it really, it's only two things that speed up your success in business. And by success, I don't mean nothing but how much money you making at the bottom line. Because success is not a bunch of likes. Success is not a bunch of followers. Success is the bag, period. So if selected, what would you do to make sure you have the money you need to invest in your business growth? That's technology, software, payroll, things like that.
Well, so for example, like last year, I did like have sole proprietorship, like I did, like arts and crafts and things of that nature. So the first step was that, like, I'm seeing people saying, oh, well, they're getting help for businesses, and it's a time where people are acquiring money. So I literally spent, like, I think I started like at 8 o'clock that night. I was up to like 5 o'clock in the morning on my phone, sitting here reading all these interviews. How can I get help? So I am working with someone now to help me get like a loan, the PPP for just my sole proprietorship from last,
Very good.
So I'm working. I'm like, okay, well, what are all these resources? Like I was reading, how do I get in touch with somebody? Asking around, and that was different for me because it's a different arena. So like I just said, the comfort level, okay, whatever, that's out the window. You have to do what you have to do and get in front of the right people, use your voice, do the things that you, like you said, already do for somebody else, and help yourself. So I've already been working on getting that funding to fuel this. I want to be a good steward. I want to be a good steward of my funds. I don't want to be a, up today and down tomorrow kind of a business. I understand it's a process, but I want to come out of the gate like, okay, you got your stuff together. If you have to invest a little bit more later, you're going to do what you got to do to get the investment to keep pushing you along. Like, I don't want to come out here out the gate and not know what's going on, just trying any Tom, Dick, and Harry to get stuff going. You need to have a good idea about what's going on from the gate.
Very good. Very good. Absolutely. And one last question. I want to tell me your name, pronounce your name. Shanadra.
Shanadra. Long A.
Okay, Shanadra. Okay. I want to say Shanadra, then I said, no, that's wrong. Okay, it is Shanadra. So if selected, one thing I noticed with women, and I've noticed in coaching women over the years, and guys, if you haven't shared this broadcast, make sure you share this broadcast. And I'm actually even hosting a webinar tomorrow night about some of the small business stimulus money that's out there. It's a $29 webinar, guys. If you're interested, go to bit.ly/grantmoney2020. But if selected, and one thing I noticed with women is we'll go so far and then life will bubble up. And this is the first thing we stop. We still go to work. We still do what we need to do for our men and our kids. But, I'm busy. I have to put my business down. And what they don't realize is every time you have to restart, it's a deadlift. You're literally starting over from scratch. So what would you do if selected to make sure that you keep going?
I'm going to treat this like I treat my 9 to 5 now. Like, I know that's what's paying my bills right now. This is no different. Like, this is for me. Like, when I'm sick, or I go to work still. When I need a mental break, I still got to go to work. I have to treat this just like that. Like, you just right up there with that. Like, yeah, I'm sick too, but I got to push through. If I need to take a moment, take a breather, take a couple of hours, come back. Every morning I have to get up and go to work. So that means that even if I don't have anything but a prayer for my business that day, I have to pour in something every day for my business.
And that's absolutely correct. And that's one of the things I'm going to help you guys with in terms of managing the juggle. and being able to make your business a priority. One thing I used to tell women is get up earlier and work on your business before you even go to your job. Because we tend to go to work and give them 100%. Right. But I can't give you 100 if I ain't got but 79 left. Right. So if I get up and get 21% to myself, you know, if that means that I got to go to work, and trust and believe, if you are a stallion at your job, they're not even gonna realize you ain't running like you used to. It took them years to realize that I was not the thoroughbred that I had been in the past. And by the time they realized it, boo, I was 2 shakes out the door. You know, because one thing, you have to run hard and fast over here, because that chasm, that period of time where you got to do both, you got to shorten that. And the people you see that's been trying to do both for years, that's unhealthy, it's tiresome, it's frustrating, and it's only but so long you can carry that juggle. So you got to hit this hard and fast, realize how much money it's going to take you to get up out that job. And if you can get that money, go on and get out of that job, because once you're doing this full time, you know, the sky's the limit. So thank you for taking time to come talk to an old woman like me. What you gonna realize, girl, I tell a lot of stories, but all of them help you keep from doing what I had to go through. And if I can help, my goal is to help as many women reach that 7-figure pinnacle as possible. But you got to make 5 before you can make 6, and you got to make 6 before you can make 7. Right. You got to start somewhere. Right. So thank you so much for interviewing this morning, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side.
Okay, thank you.
You have a great morning.